Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the Akim Master on the four corners, teaching in truth and sincerity. This is Thasha Kwad Math coming at you with a quick hit, going into how Esau gonna come down on Israel hard, whenever he does drop that hammer. And he's going to have some of you in jailhouses, and he's going to be rounding some of us up. He's going to be kicking in our doors and everything. Everybody's on that blue, yellow, and red list, mostly on that red list. And how about Shimon Shot Willing? I'm on that red list. But without further ado, I'm going to just jump straight into scripture. This is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 13. Because in that day, you're going to have to, have that protection of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. It says, "Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand." So it says, "Stand therefore, having your loins girded about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness." And I'm gonna go into that girded about, that G40 and 24. I'm gonna let Esau, little cousin, hammer out the words.
Strong's G 4024.
Pedizonami. It says to fasten garment with a girdle or belt, to gird up oneself. Metaphorically, with truth, as a girdle, to equip oneself with knowledge of the truth, and that's, being steadfast and wholehearted into his word. It says, having on the breastplate of righteousness, and having on the breastplate of righteousness. It says, and and I'm going to go into that having on, that G1746. And again, I'm going to let Esau look, cousin.
Strong's G 1746 and duo. Thayer's Lexicon, related entry,
and duo. It says to sink into clothing, put on, clothe oneself. So righteousness is going to be like a garment, and it's going to hold fast to you, as long as you hold fast to it, which means, keeping the wisdom and knowledge of these scriptures, always on your mind, always on your life. It says, and your feet shoed with the preparations of the gospel of peace, and I'm going to go into that Strong's G52, G52 and 65, and that shoed.
Strong's G 5265. Hupadeo.
One is to underbind, two is to bind under one's self, because with the breastplate of salvation, Salakia, with the breastplate of righteousness, it's going to be a shirt. With you girding up your loins with the belt, that's you getting ready for battle, and the shoe is you girding up the underpart, trying to get everything situated and ready for war, because this is all the armor that you need to go into battle. Because as I'm going to show you here in a little bit, Esau got a lot planned, and this is stuff that he's telling us. There's a lot going on that we don't even know. But Yahweh Shemel Shah willing, it's gonna come out. But it says in 15, when I start over, it says, and your feet shoed with the preparation of the gospel of peace. It says, above all things, no, Salakia, above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. And I'm going to go into that, ye shall be able, and that's G 14:10. G 14:10.
Strong's G 14:10. Dunamai.
Dunamai. It says to be able, having power, whether by virtue of one's own ability and resources, or of state of mind, though favorably circumstances, or by permission of law or custom, to be able to do something, because like I stated, Esau about to come up, and it says to be capable, strong, and powerful. So having this word, in you, is going to make you, capable, strong, and powerful, to withstand everything that comes, towards you, in an aggressive manner, and that's what the shield is. All right, that's the shield, to quench all fiery darts, because you're going to have to be able to withstand all that Esau puts on you until death, or deliverance. So like it. All right. It says, and take the helmet of salvation. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yahweh. And I'm going to get one more scripture before I go into the video. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And this is why we ain't ignorant of his devices. All right, because of this right here. The Wadi al-Bashim Yahushai.
Microwave and radio frequency radiation weapons. The motivation to suppress domestic dissidents and to assassinate loyal American opposition stems from the perception of dissent against the war as treason. This philosophy is stated very clearly in the Mind War paper written by Michael Aquino. The Department of Defense has a huge stake in futuristic technology that kills by ionizing and non-ionizing radiation, leaving little or no trace. The indiscriminate killing of the Phoenix program continues on American soil. The terms soft kill, slow kill, and silent kill refer to the new way of killing the enemy in conflicts short of war and the small wars of the future. The counterinsurgency doctrine has now been applied to the home front so that the perceived betrayal of the military in Vietnam will not be repeated. The generation of CIA and military intelligence led by Shackley, Helms, Casey, Singlab, Secord, John B. Alexander, Michael Aquino, Paul Vallely, and others have built the perfect beast using selective assassination that leaves no trace. The ability to cull the human herd with silent kill technology allows a few personalities to remake the entire society in their own image. Extremely low frequency technology slowly drives the target crazy with silent sound, similar to the CIA MKUltra psychiatrist Ewan Cameron's psychic driving technique used to break down the target's personality. The new buzzwords at the Pentagon are synthetic telepathy and psychotronics. Another means of attack on targets is the Smirnov patent that uses subliminal suggestion to manipulate human behavior. This patent was purchased by the remote viewing company Scitech Corporation. Military intelligence officers involved in developing these non-lethal weapons also control Scitech. Emotional manipulation is accomplished using Dr. Michael Persinger's work to remotely project emotional states that the brain entrains or locks onto and emulates. One can broadcast rage or fear at an individual target to manipulate and control them. As if these methods were not enough to torture and murder people, add to this nightmarish toolbox active gang stalking. CIA-created cults and other cause-oriented groups are used by actively harassing them in public in a neutralization technique described in counterintelligence operations manuals that are aimed at enemy agents. In the race to develop a new weapon, it has always been necessary to test it on human beings. Perfecting the latest weapons designed to kill slowly and silently, as well as perfecting the process of controlling the human mind, are no different. Once the weaponry has been perfected on these few thousand people, the same techniques will be applied en masse to the general population, and then to humanity as a whole.
Mainly Jake. Jake is going to get the brunt of all this. You know, he gonna use it on you, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, to get his agenda popped off, or to mainly demonize you.
MKUltra was the secret CIA crash program to develop techniques to control the human mind. By the end of the Korean War, 70% of the 7,000 U.S. prisoners of war had signed confessions, 15% cooperated fully, and only 5% steadfastly refused confession or indoctrination. Professors Wolf and Hinkle submitted a secret report to Director of Central Intelligence Alan Dulles about communist methods of brainwashing that was the definitive work on the subject in 1953. It stated that no drugs or machines were used. Intense psychological pressure and human weakness were the key, beginning with solitary confinement. Guards constantly reminded the prisoner that he was totally cut off from outside support, ordered him to stand for long periods, dictated the positions allowed for sleep, waking him if he moved while sleeping, banned all outside stimuli such as books, conversation, or news of the outside world. After 4 to 6 weeks, the prisoner would break down. Quote, "He weeps, he mutters, and prays aloud in his cell." At this stage, the interrogation began in a special room. The guard told him that he knew his own crimes all too well. The prisoner is in the position of trying to prove his innocence to he knew not what. The interrogator and the prisoner bond in their shared ransacking of the captive's soul. As the interrogation proceeded,